Do you think you know how to build wealth? Do you believe your only problem is not earning more? Let me confront you with a truth that might shatter your current financial worldview, one that's kept you trapped in a cycle of mediocrity for far too long. You see, I've watched countless individuals like yourself chase money their entire lives, believing they're just one raise, one bonus, or one business deal away from financial freedom. But here's what pains me deeply. While you're running on this hamster wheel of financial ignorance, you're missing the fundamental principle that has sustained my people's wealth for over 5,000 years. I'm not here to coddle you or validate your current approach to money. That would be a disservice to both of us. Instead, I'm here to share a truth that might make you uncomfortable, because true transformation begins at the edge of discomfort. Let me tell you about David, a successful doctor who came to me last year. He earned $500,000 annually, lived in a beautiful house, drove a luxury car, the very picture of success by society's standards. Yet when we sat down to discuss his finances, I discovered he was just 2 missed paychecks away from financial ruin. All that income, all that perceived success, and no true wealth to show for it. Why? Because like you, he was operating under a fundamental misconception about wealth creation. He thought his high income would automatically translate to wealth. But income is not wealth, a lesson my ancestors learned through centuries of persecution and displacement. You see, throughout history, my people have been expelled from countless countries, forced to leave behind their physical possessions. Yet, within a generation or two, they would rebuild their wealth wherever they landed. How? Because they understood something that you don't. True wealth isn't about how much money you make. It's about how you think about money. This principle is so powerful that it's encoded in our most ancient texts. The Talmud teaches us that a wealthy person isn't one who has much, but one who understands the true nature of wealth. And today, I'm going to share this understanding with you. But I must warn you, this isn't going to be a comfortable journey. I'm going to challenge everything you think you know about money. I'm going to point out where you've been making mistakes, where your thinking is flawed, and why your current approach to wealth building is destined to fail. You might be wondering why I'm being so direct, perhaps even harsh. It's because I've seen too many people waste their lives chasing the wrong financial goals, following the wrong advice, and wondering why they never achieve true financial freedom. I refuse to watch you make the same mistakes. The principle I'm about to share with you has been tested through centuries of persecution, economic upheavals, and social changes. It's helped my people prosper in times of plenty and survive in times of hardship. It's the reason why Jewish communities have historically shown remarkable financial resilience, even in the face of severe adversity. This isn't about quick fixes or get-rich-quick schemes. If that's what you're looking for, you might as well stop watching now. This is about fundamentally transforming how you think about and handle money. It's about building genuine, lasting wealth that can weather any economic storm and be passed down through generations. The question is, are you ready to be uncomfortable? Are you prepared to have your current financial beliefs challenged? Are you willing to admit that what you're doing isn't working and that you need to learn a better way? Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you the principle that has created more generational wealth than any investment strategy, business model, or financial plan. This principle is so powerful that it's preserved wealth through wars, depressions, and persecutions. But remember, knowledge without action is worthless. If you're not ready to implement what I'm about to teach you, if you're not prepared to make real changes in how you handle money, then this wisdom will be wasted on you, just like every other financial advice you've received. The choice is yours. Are you ready to learn the truth about wealth creation? Or will you continue to delude yourself with modern financial myths that keep you trapped in mediocrity? I am Caleb Solomon, and what I'm about to share with you comes from a place of deep concern. Your financial habits are slowly killing your future, and it's my moral obligation to confront you with this truth. Let me be painfully direct. You're trapped in a destructive cycle that you mistake for normal life. Every month, you receive your paycheck, feel momentarily wealthy, and then watch it disappear into a black hole of meaningless expenses. By the end of the month, you're anxiously waiting for the next paycheck, promising yourself that next month will be different. But it never is it? This cycle isn't just harmful. It's a form of financial suicide. You're not just failing with money, you're actively choosing to fail. Every time you swipe your credit card for something you don't need, Every time you postpone saving for when you earn more, every time you avoid learning about investments because it seems too complicated, you're choosing failure. Let me share what I witnessed last week. A young professional came to my office, proudly showing me his $120,000 salary. Yet, when I examined his finances, I discovered he had zero savings, $45,000 in credit card debt, and a leased luxury car that consumed 40% of his monthly income. He told me, "I work hard, so I deserve to enjoy life." This is the kind of destructive thinking that keeps you poor. The Talmud teaches us, who is wise? One who sees the future consequences of their actions. But you're living blindly in the present, sacrificing your future for momentary pleasures. You're violating one of the most fundamental principles of Jewish financial wisdom, the understanding that today's decisions shape tomorrow's reality. Your problem isn't your income, it's your mindset. You treat money like a child treats candy, consuming it immediately without thought for tomorrow. The ancient Jewish sages understood something you don't. Wealth isn't about what you earn, it's about what you keep and how you use it. Let me expose the 3 deadly financial sins you're committing right now. First, you're living without a financial purpose. You earn money simply to spend it. The Torah teaches us that everything must have a purpose, a higher goal. Yet your relationship with money is purely recreational. You're not building anything, you're just consuming. Second, you lack financial discipline. When you receive money, your first thought is, what can I buy? Instead of, how can I make this money work for me? The Midrash tells us that discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Your lack of discipline is burning that bridge. Third, and most dangerously, you're afraid of delayed gratification. You want everything now. A new phone? You buy it immediately. A vacation? You put it on credit. This behavior reveals a profound spiritual and practical immaturity that's keeping you trapped in poverty. Let me tell you about the tradition of Maaser Kesafim, the practice of setting aside 1/10 of one's income. This isn't just about charity. It's about developing financial discipline and understanding that not all money that comes into your hands is meant for immediate consumption. Yet you can't even save 1%, can you? Your bank account isn't lying to you. It's revealing who you are. Every overdraft fee, every credit card statement, every impulsive purchase is a testament to your financial immaturity. The Talmud states that a person's true character is revealed by their pocket, their cup, and their anger. Your pocket is screaming that you're living without wisdom. You keep waiting for some magical moment when everything will change. A better job, an inheritance, a lucky break. But let me give you some harsh truth. If you can't manage $1,000 wisely, you won't manage $1,000 wisely. If you're not building wealth with your current income, more money won't solve your problem. It will only magnify your poor habits. Every day you continue these destructive patterns, you're not just failing yourself. You're failing your future generations. The Jewish tradition emphasizes building generational wealth, yet you can barely make it to the next paycheck. How do you expect to leave a legacy when you can't even manage your own finances? The reality is, you're not just broke, you're broken. Your financial habits reflect a deeper problem, a fundamental misunderstanding of the purpose of money and wealth. Until you confront this truth, until you acknowledge that your current approach is fundamentally flawed, nothing will change. But here's what gives me hope. You're still here, listening. Maybe, just maybe, you're ready to learn a better way. Maybe you're finally prepared to understand the principle that has helped my people build and preserve wealth for generations, even in the face of history's greatest challenges. Are you ready to learn the truth about how real wealth is built? Because what I'm about to share next isn't just information. It's the key to transforming your financial future. Now, lean in close, because I'm about to share with you the most powerful principle of Jewish wealth building, one that has sustained our prosperity through centuries of persecution, exile, and economic upheaval. This isn't just another financial tip. This is the foundation of generational wealth. The Talmud teaches us, a person should always divide their wealth into 3 parts, 1/3 in land, 1/3 in business, and 1/3 in liquid assets. But this isn't just ancient advice. It's a blueprint for financial sovereignty that's more relevant today than ever before. You see, while you're obsessing over the latest get-rich-quick scheme or cryptocurrency trend, you're missing the fundamental truth that has built every lasting fortune in history. True wealth is built through strategic division and patient multiplication. Let me tell you about my grandfather, who arrived in this country with nothing but the clothes on his back and this principle in his mind. While others rushed to spend their first earnings on immediate comforts, he divided every dollar according to this ancient wisdom. Within 20 years, he owned multiple properties, had stakes in 3 successful businesses, and maintained a substantial cash reserve. This wasn't luck. It was the disciplined application of timeless wisdom. But you're doing the exact opposite. You keep all your eggs in one basket, usually a job that could disappear tomorrow. You think your 401k makes you diversified. That's like thinking a rowboat will protect you from a tsunami. Real diversification, as our ancestors understood it, is about building multiple pillars of wealth that can stand independently. The first pillar is land, or in modern terms, real estate. Why? Because as the Talmud explains, real estate remains eternally. While currencies have collapsed and empires have fallen, land has consistently preserved wealth. But you're too busy paying rent to someone else, building their wealth instead of your own. The second pillar is business, active investments that generate ongoing income. This isn't about buying stocks on Robinhood. It's about having ownership in enterprises that create real value. Our sages understood that passive ownership of productive assets is the key to sustainable wealth. The third pillar is liquid assets, your reserve of cash and easily convertible investments. This isn't just about having an emergency fund. It's about maintaining the flexibility to seize opportunities when they arise. As the Midrash teaches, the wise man prepares in times of plenty for times of famine. But here's where you're failing. You're not just ignoring this principle, you're actively working against it. Every time you spend your entire paycheck on consumables, every time you pass up an investment opportunity because you're not ready, every time you choose immediate gratification over long-term growth, you're choosing to remain poor. Let me share a teaching from Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish. Where there is no bread, there is no Torah. He wasn't just talking about physical sustenance. He was teaching us that financial stability is the foundation for all other achievements in life. Without it, you're constantly in survival mode, unable to fulfill your true purpose. You want to know why you feel stuck? Why you can't seem to get ahead? It's because you're playing the wrong game. You're focused on income when you should be focused on assets. You're thinking about the next paycheck when you should be thinking about the next generation. The Hebrew word for wealth, asher, shares its root with the word for foundation. This isn't a coincidence. True wealth isn't about having money. It's about building a foundation that supports sustained prosperity. But what foundation are you building? From what I can see, you're building on sand. Every day you delay implementing this principle is another day you choose mediocrity over prosperity. The Talmud says, "Who is wise? One who learns from everyone." But are you willing to learn? Are you ready to abandon your failed financial strategies and embrace this proven wisdom? Let me be brutally honest. If you don't apply this principle in your life, you'll remain exactly where you are, living paycheck to paycheck, feeling financially insecure, watching others build wealth while you struggle to make ends meet. Is that what you want? To keep feeling humiliated every time you check your bank balance? To keep lying awake at night worrying about money? To keep postponing your dreams because you can't afford it? Or are you ready to start living life on your own terms? To build real wealth that can weather any storm? To create a legacy that will benefit generations to come? The choice is yours, but understand this. This principle isn't optional for those who want to build real wealth. It's not a suggestion, it's a requirement. And if you're not willing to implement it, then you might as well stop watching now, because what I'm about to share next will be wasted on you. But if you're ready to transform your financial future, if you're prepared to apply this ancient wisdom in your modern life, then stay with me. Because I'm about to show you exactly how to implement this principle in today's world, step by step, starting with nothing but the income you already have. Now that you understand the principle, let me show you exactly how to implement it. But remember, knowledge without action is like a bird without wings. It's useless. So pay close attention, because I'm about to give you the exact blueprint that has created wealth for generations of my people. First, let's talk about the foundation of all wealth building, the sacred tenth. Before you do anything else with your money, you must set aside 10% of every dollar you earn. This isn't a suggestion, it's a non-negotiable first step. The Hebrew word maser, tithe, shares its root with asher, wealth, for a reason. This 10% is not for spending, it's your seed money for wealth building. But Caleb, you might say, I can barely make ends meet now. Stop making excuses. If you can't live on 90% of your income, you're living beyond your means. I've seen people making $30,000 a year faithfully set aside their sacred tenth, while others making $300,000 claim they can't afford to save. It's not about your income, it's about your discipline. Here's your first action step. Tonight, not tomorrow, not next week, but tonight, set up an automatic transfer of 10% of your income to a separate account. Name it your wealth building account. This money becomes untouchable for anything except investments. Second, you need to start building your 3 pillars of wealth. Remember the Talmudic principle of thirds? Here's how you implement it in today's world. For real estate, your first pillar, start by saving for a down payment on a small rental property. Don't tell me you can't afford it. If you're saving your sacred tenth and adding just $100 more each month, you'll have enough for an FHA down payment on a duplex within 2 years. Live in one unit, rent out the other. This is how you start building your real estate portfolio. The Talmud teaches that 7 years of famine will not pass the door of one who owns real estate. Why? Because property provides both appreciation and cash flow. Yet you're still paying rent, building someone else's wealth instead of your own. This stops today. For business, your second pillar, start small but think big. You don't need to quit your job tomorrow. Begin with a side venture that requires minimal capital but has potential for growth. The Jewish concept of hishtadlut teaches us that while success comes from God, we must make practical efforts. Start by identifying a need in your community. Perhaps it's a service you can provide on weekends or a product you can sell online. Invest just 5 hours a week. That's less time than you spend watching Netflix, isn't it? The goal is to create a stream of income that doesn't depend on trading your time for money. For liquid assets, your third pillar, you need to build both an emergency fund and an opportunity fund. The emergency fund should cover 6 months of expenses. The opportunity fund is for investing in assets when they're undervalued. As King Solomon taught, the wise man sees trouble coming and takes refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. Here's your specific action plan. Month 1 to 3. Automatically save your sacred tenth, cut all unnecessary expenses. Yes, that means your daily coffee runs and subscription services. Build your emergency fund to 1 month's expenses. Research potential side business opportunities. Month 4-6. Continue your sacred tenth. Start your side business with minimal investment. Increase emergency fund to 3 months. Begin researching real estate in your area. Month 7 to 12. Maintain all previous steps. Reinvest all. Profits from your side business. Complete your 6-month emergency fund. Start saving for your real estate down payment. But here's the crucial part. You must start now. Not after you finish watching this video, not after you've thought about it, but now. The Talmud teaches that procrastination is the thief of life. Every day you delay is another day you choose to remain financially weak. Let me be clear. This isn't a get-rich-quick plan. This is a get-rich-for-certain plan. It's the same approach that has built wealth for generations of Jewish families, but it only works if you work it. What's holding you back? Fear, lack of knowledge, laziness. Whatever it is, you need to confront it right now. Because if you're not willing to take action today, right now, then all this knowledge is worthless. You see, the difference between the wealthy and the poor isn't knowledge, it's action. The wealthy take immediate action on valuable information. The poor say they'll think about it and never do anything. Which one are you going to be? If you're still watching, you have no more excuses. I've given you the exact blueprint used by generations of successful Jewish families. The only question remaining is, will you use it or will you waste it? Because what I'm about to share next will show you how this blueprint has transformed lives, but only for those who had the courage to take immediate action. Let me share with you 3 powerful stories that demonstrate how these principles transform lives, not in theory, but in reality. These aren't just stories, they're testimonies to the timeless power of Jewish financial wisdom. First, let me tell you about Jacob Rothschild, not the famous banker, but a humble watch repair merchant in 1938 Germany. As the Nazi regime tightened its grip, many Jews lost everything they owned. But Jacob had followed our ancient principle of dividing assets. He kept 1/3 of his wealth in Swiss banks, 1/3 in American real estate purchased through partners, and 1/3 in portable assets like diamonds and gold. When he was forced to flee with nothing but a suitcase, his divided wealth saved not just his life, but his entire family's future. While others had to start from zero in new lands, Jacob had assets waiting for him. Within 5 years in America, he had rebuilt his watch business and expanded into property development. Why? Because he understood that true wealth isn't about what you carry, it's about what you position. But you might say, that's an old story from different times. Fine. Let me tell you about Sarah, who came to me just 3 years ago. She was a school teacher making $52,000 a year, drowning in student debt. But unlike you, she was ready to apply these principles without excuses. She started with her sacred tenth, just $430 a month, automatically transferred to a separate account. No excuses, no exceptions. For side business, she began tutoring online, specializing in helping children with learning difficulties. She took every dollar from this business and divided it according to our principle. 1/3 into a down payment fund for real estate, 1/3 into expanding her tutoring business, and 1/3 into liquid investments. Today, Sarah owns 2 rental properties, has a tutoring business generating $8,000 monthly, and maintains a 6-month emergency fund. Her net worth has grown from negative $42,000 to positive $380,000 in just 3 years. Was it easy? No. Did she have to sacrifice? Yes. But she understood something you need to grasp. Comfort today means struggle tomorrow, while struggle today means comfort tomorrow. But let me share the most powerful story, one that's still unfolding. David Cohen, a software engineer who followed conventional financial wisdom for 15 years. He had a good 401k, a nice house, and 0 debt. He thought he was doing well until I showed him how the principle of thirds could transform his financial future. We reorganized his assets. He took equity from his primary residence to purchase 2 rental properties. He invested in a software consulting business, creating passive income streams. He maintained liquid assets for opportunities. When the 2020 market crash came, while others panicked, David had cash ready to invest at bargain prices. Today, David's net worth has quadrupled. His rental properties generate enough income to cover his monthly expenses. His consulting business runs without his daily involvement. He's building generational wealth, not just retirement savings. But here's what's most important about these stories. None of these people had special advantages. They weren't born rich. They didn't inherit wealth. They simply applied timeless principles with unwavering discipline. The Talmud teaches us about Rabbi Akiva, who was a poor shepherd until age 40. He started learning with nothing, but through consistent application of principles, became not just a great scholar but a wealthy man. The lesson? It's never too late to start, but every day you delay is a day of opportunity lost. Look at the modern tech industry. Companies like Waze, founded in Israel, embody these principles. They didn't just build a product. They built an asset that generated value in multiple ways. When Google acquired Waze for $15 billion, it wasn't just buying an app. It was buying a system that created continuing value. These stories share common elements: disciplined saving, strategic division of assets, and patient multiplication of wealth. But there's something else, something deeper. They all understood that wealth building is not about getting rich quickly. It's about getting rich inevitably. You see, while others chased trends and quick returns, these people built foundations for lasting wealth. While others focused on looking rich, they focused on being wealthy. While others worried about this month's expenses, they planned for their grandchildren's future. But here's what breaks my heart. You could be the next success story I tell. Your story could be the one that inspires others to transform their financial future. Instead, you're still sitting there probably thinking, that's great for them, but my situation is different. No, your situation isn't different. The only difference is they took action while you make excuses. They applied these principles while you just learn about them. They built wealth while you build wishful thinking. Are you ready to be more than just another person who heard these principles? Are you ready to be someone who applied them and transformed their life? Because what I'm about to share next will show you exactly how to start your own success story, but only if you're truly ready to change. The time has come for you to make a decision that will echo through generations. Everything I've shared with you today, the ancient wisdom, the practical steps, the transformative stories, it all comes down to this moment. What will you do with this knowledge? You stand at a crossroads. One path leads to more of the same: financial anxiety, living paycheck to paycheck, watching opportunities pass you by. The other path, the path illuminated by the wisdom I've shared, leads to true prosperity, security, and legacy. Let me be absolutely clear. This decision isn't about whether these principles work. 5,000 years of Jewish financial success have proven they do. This decision is about you. Are you ready to step up and claim your financial destiny? Or will you retreat back to your comfort zone of mediocrity? The truth is, most people watching this video won't take action. They'll nod their heads, maybe even take some notes, but tomorrow they'll go back to their old habits. They'll continue to live lives of quiet financial desperation, pretending that someday, somehow, things will magically change. But you've stayed with me this long for a reason. Something inside you recognizes this truth. You know you're capable of more. You know you deserve better. The question is, are you willing to prove it through action? The choice is yours. Continue living in mediocrity, watching your financial dreams slip away year after year, or start building a life of true prosperity today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. If this message has resonated with you, if you're ready to transform your financial future, take these 3 actions right now. First, subscribe to this channel. Every week, I share more ancient wisdom adapted for modern wealth building. This is your source for financial truth in a world of get-rich-quick schemes. Second, share your commitment in the comments below. Write down the first action you'll take based on what you've learned. Make it public. Make it real. Finally, share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. True wealth isn't just about personal prosperity. It's about lifting others up along the way. May the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob bless you with the wisdom to choose prosperity and the strength to pursue it. Shalom.